What's going on, everybody? I'm Wig. I got my man Dev here. Um, my man been going ham on Instagram and social media in general. Just diving deep into uh the mental aspect of life, everyday challenges, and things that he had to endure during his upcoming childhood, adulthood, um, just bringing awareness to everyday challenges of children, teenagers, grown men, and you know, just trying to basically make sure that we understand that uh, as a people, we have to be cognizant of things that males endure when we are telling ourselves and other males, you got to be strong. We got to be cognizant of their mental uh their mental state. I actually want to take in and dive right into it and let my man Dev let you introduce yourself and let us know, what brought this about.
You, what up, bro? You know,
It is what it is.
all right. You already know it's a little tight for me, bro. We can go ahead and try to get it out the way, get it over with, kind of, make some leeway with this thing. Uh, your question was what? It was
Just a introduction of yourself, and then just more so, what's your mindset and your purpose behind, what you're doing.
okay. I got you. Well, let me start by my name is Devin Smith. I am a 39-year-old male. I'll be 40 years old this year. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder about 5 years ago. I'm married. I have 6 kids. Um, my background is pharmacy and pharmacy education. The you know, I guess the reason why I'm doing this thing, man, is because I know what it's like to be in that dark place and to not kind of I know what it's like to be in that dark place, and I know what it's like to kind of be alone in that space. And one of the biggest things that I realize, man, now is that mental illness is a lot more prevalent in society than people realize. And I just want to talk about, the
Facts,
stigma,
facts.
the stigma of mental health in a way of, how life in general is it can be a trigger for most people.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing the attention to like a lot of people deal with mental illness. I think it's like 1 in 5 people deal with some type of mental illness, whether it's depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, PTSD. We all deal with some type of a mental illness in one way. So what I'm trying to do, man, is just continue to kind of push conversation around mental illness and not so much opinions and biases about it. Um, the reason I got into it now, the reason I didn't want to do this, I'm embarrassed about a lot of things that I talk about. I'm still ashamed of a lot of things. I'm still working through those actively to get through it. But what I found, man, is that, just me telling a little bit of my story, man, is helping others carry their weight. So, God has already showed me that what my plan was for this thing, he already surpassed that. My plan is on the first day. So, I want to do my part, man, and just, create conversation around the mental health triggers and the the I can't remember how to say it. I think it's exacerbators.
Look, you got me. You got me with that one. um, okay. So you said 1 in 5, right? I have a question about that. Is that is that what's being reported, or is that what they believe it is to be? As in, what's reported. A lot of times, it's more.
Yeah, man. Let me look real quick and give you a better idea. I want to be correct. what I'm giving you. I want to give you the wrong information. People.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Not too many people willing to take the time, especially, you know, right then and there, right in the middle of the interview and everything, man. Be like, you know what? Let's look that up right now. That's big stuff right there, man. Look, somebody gonna copy that. Somebody gonna copy that. I appreciate you doing that. Real tough. Real
No
tough.
doubt, bro. I just want to make sure I'm giving accurate information. You know, a lot of things that I've gone through, I have studied this stuff, but a lot of it is just personal experience.
Right,
The
right.
how many people I gotta sift through the BS to get to the accurate information.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I can make it simpler. I can just give you what I know, the stats on bipolar.
Oh, hi, Kim. How am I tablet now?
Come back when it's about 50%. I'll let you know. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead upstairs.
Yay! I want to play with Kayla.
No, I'm doing something. Go ahead upstairs.
That's not really accurate.
Let me see if I can let me see what I can find real quick. Real
Yeah, let me see. So what I do see right now, man, the life is coming up is, you know, depression, anxiety with alone has soared 25% in the last year just dealing with COVID. The stats were already pretty alarming before COVID. The
That's a lot.
It's a lot of people, man. So it says okay. Investments. Yeah, all this stuff is just people trying to push their agenda.
There we go. An estimated 26% of Americans ages 18 and older, about 1 in 4 adults, suffer from a diagnosable mental disorder in a given year.
Yes, sir. That is accurate. I said 1 in 5, but 1 in 4 sounds more like it.
There we go.
So as you see, the ratio is not is not to our advantage right now.
Yeah, no. Absolutely. And as I stated, right? As I stated, that's just for so one. Like I said, it can always be more, right? So mind you, this is only in the Americas, right?
Yeah.
And here we go. An estimated 970 million people worldwide had a mental or substance use disorder in 2017.
Facts.
That's big right there. That's big right there.
And then one of the major things behind that is young people and women are hit the worst. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Men are hit pretty hard about it, but I think the fact that our stats are really on is clear because we don't really talk about, you know, the things that we deal with. We kind of man up and kind of move on till we can't.
Mm-hmm. So let's all right, so boom. So approximately 9.5% of American adults ages 18 or over will suffer from a depressive illness. And this includes major depression, bipolar, what the word? Bipolar disorder, or dyspnea.
What is it?
Dysmia is DYSTHYMIA. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Couple other facts. Women are nearly twice as likely to suffer from major depression than men. However, men and women are equally likely to develop bipolar disorder. I think that's key right there, right? And that could very well speak to, we often talk, one of the reasons we doing this, right, is because we have, it's there's a stigma that we don't go through that, right?
Right.
So here it is women are nearly twice as likely to suffer from major depression than men. And so I think one of the thing about it is we got to kind of look at it in a way of, just because you have the more likelihood to deal with something don't mean that it won't happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly,
Right.
man. You get
Right. Right.
it.
He on it. He on it already.
Right. You know what I mean? And then and let's not also, think about the different things that may happen over, just think of uh, think of it in a sense of the male being your child, or your significant other, your spouse, or something like that, right? Or a loved one, friend, whatever. Depending on how close you are to that. You sleepy? You just woke up. But anyway, how close you that male is to, let's say, the female, or around a bunch of females that deal with depression, how that may affect his mental health. You know what I mean? So I think it's a lot that goes in into these formulas, and how we look at these things. Another fact is, while major depression can develop at any age, the average age at onset is the mid 20s. So there you go with that. And with bipolar disorder, which affects approximately 2.6 of Americans age 18 and older in any given year, the average age at onset for the first manic episode is during the early 20s. So, all right, we can. I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a pin in that one for the moment. And
Okay.
Go ahead. My bad. But no, you go ahead. You can rock. You can rock.
So yeah, man. So like, I mean, my biggest thing, bro, is just bringing attention to what these teenagers and these kids are feeling, bro. Between 2015 and 2018, major depressive episodes in Black teens alone increased 14%. You know what I mean? And suicide attempts by Black youth increased by 73% between the years of 1991 and 2017. So I was one of those kids that was suffering in silence. You know what I mean? And
Right.
As adults, we get into a mindset where kids don't really understand. Kids are just kids. They aren't experiencing anything for themselves, man. But as personally going through it, growing up, being a teacher and having some of my students go through it, man, these kids suffer. And I really wanted, to push the issue of talking to your kids. Just giving them a safe place to talk to figure out what's going on, whether it's judging them or minimizing their experiences. You know what I mean?
Got you. Okay.
The scary thing about this, man, is that these kids in elementary school are now being successful at committing suicide. You know what I mean? And I was in my early 30s, bro, and I wanted to tap out, dog. Like the only thing that kind of set me there, the only thing that kind of kept me here, which I still don't understand, was a random, interruption, from a family member. So that's a dark place that was a dark place for me to be in, man, as an adult. So what the hell are these kids feeling, man, in third and fourth grade to be successful at killing themselves? What kind of pressure are they feeling? What kind of fear are they feeling? What kind of pain are they feeling? What kind of darkness are they experiencing? You know what I mean? And that's the scary part behind what's happening, because as adults, we're so caught up in the rat race that we're forgetting that our kids are going through something similar in their own world.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I really think that when I got older, I really, I talked to a lot of parents, just about how, just parents, friends, and just people in general about how growing up, I really just don't think that a lot of people put emphasis on how hard it is to be a kid.
It
They
is.
really they think that because you ain't paying bills and because you don't have your own children, that life is just easy. And it's like, nah, it's probably one of the hardest things to do in life. That's where you find out who you are, what you want to be, and it has a lot to deal with who you get to be or who you wind up being as an adult. You know what I mean? Where you fit
Right.
in at, and like as an adult, you can easily not care what people are saying about you. As a kid, it don't come that easy. You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna challenge you. I'm gonna challenge you on that too, man, because that's a misconception also that I think we develop a pretty strong outer layer to kind of deflect, what naturally impacts us. I can say for myself, man, I do care what people think about me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No,
To
no,
an
no.
extent.
So what I'm saying is I think it's easier as an adult than it is as a kid, is what I'm saying. Because
I agree.
as you mature, you literally you have more of an understanding
You have the mental
of
capacity. I agree.
of the dude or female right here. You know what? Let's keep it funky, right? We in the club. You know what I'm saying? Go to the club, you boom, boom, boom. Males deal with rejection, right? I'm gonna
Facts,
tell you
facts.
exactly how well, a lot of males, how the best way to put it, a lot of males sometimes are scared of rejection. So they go to the club, they ain't hollering at no shorties, no nothing, da, 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 da. However, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I got over that. I don't have to see you ever again.
Right. And that's funny, man, because I admire that. Like growing up, man, a lot of my friends had that mindset, but I had a different mindset. People always thought I was shy, that I was
Mm-hmm.
bashful, that I was quiet, but I really
Mm-hmm.
had low self-esteem, bro. You know what I mean? So I like damn near today, bro. Like every person that I've dated or interacted with, I didn't approach them. They approached me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where and it's crazy, bro, because I know a lot of people that approach things from the aspect that you do, and so many others. But there are so many brothers that approach it from my perspective, the same way
Right.
that people think they're shy. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
and
so
go ahead.
the kicker is I'm shy. I can be considered very shy. You know what I'm saying? But
Got
that's
you.
why that's
Got
why I said in certain settings, you know what I'm saying? It's a different mindset. You know what I'm saying?
you. Facts.
If I know I gotta be in a classroom, I gotta deal with you for for however long this class is, I gotta deal with you for that duration.
Facts.
In the club, the chances of me running across you again are very slim.
Facts. Facts.
and,
That's true. That's true.
and that's it. So for me, it's you know what I'm saying. It was literally the just looking at what's the worst that can happen is the
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? What you got to deal with stuff like that. So if you take in, and so that's back to the kids and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Children who now, whether not even necessarily dealing with rejection, things like that, but what's the worst that can happen, right? Same mindset that I had, I'm thinking of, right? As in what you stated, you said that you do care and that like what people think of you and stuff like that. I do too, but it has a scale on how important it is because of the fact of what the worst that can happen is. And
Facts. Facts.
you beatboxing. So, so the deal is if if we in class, you know what I'm saying, and I do something and word get out, everybody laughing and blah blah, that's on your mind. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It don't even really matter how old you are, honestly. I don't think. You know what I'm saying? And to some
Right.
extent, everybody cares what people think about it, what people think about them. People have a certain way of either adverting it as in changing it around and getting everybody else's mind off of it, or have a way of, tuning it out some kind of way. You know what I mean? But up front, you going if you're embarrassed by something, it's gonna it's gonna have some kind of effect on it. Whereas
And
you do something in a club, if you throwing up in the club is not a pretty moment, and it can be very embarrassing. But guess what? You ain't got to worry about. The only people that's going to joke you is the same people that's going to throw up next week. So, as in your people, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They're the only ones that's really going, be able to clown you about it, and it's all fun and jokes with them. Anybody else, you ain't even got to worry about them no more.
Right. So you know the direction you're coming from, right? That is a very normal direction you're coming from, right? But having bipolar disorder, my thought process isn't the same. So you see how you can recognize your worst case scenario and kind of prioritize and push it back. My mind works differently because like my worst case scenarios are that, and that's what I see. I gotta tunnel through that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
So I will hit with something like so we do go to the club and I do talk to somebody, right? And there's a possibility that you're going to get denied, or you're going to, you know what I mean, like, or you're going to get rejected.
Absolutely.
So but what happens with that is when I do approach it, if it doesn't go right, I constantly play that conversation over and 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 over again in my mind until it becomes like a depressive state, whether it's damn, did I say that right? Did I come off as a clown? You know what I mean? Like it's just that having bipolar, man, like the worst case scenario is always smack dab in my face, and I kind of gotta push it back and make it make sense. You know what I mean? And so like I've always admired, and I literally, man, I sit back and like, man, like how do people do this? Like, am I the only one feeling like this? And this was before I got diagnosed. Remember, I didn't get diagnosed until what, 35? You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, throughout my life, there has been a lot of good things that happen, but the bad things are always magnified. So I have to start with the bad thing and work my way back to the good things to find balance. Instead of starting from the good and recognize that there's a bad thing there also as well. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely, dude. I completely understand. I got you.
Yeah. So, what's crazy about that, bro? I want to give another stat, man. Like, with talking about the school age kids and talking about what happens in the classroom and things like that. Like, 1 in every 3 Black children suffer from some type of adverse childhood experience that fucks them up for the rest of their life. And then whatever happens is minimized by the adults or by other peers who feel like that's not a big deal.
So let's speak on some of those, right? What when you say things that fuck them up, what can you give some examples and things like that? And it, whether it's personal or things that you can just say, hey, look, I've seen kids that had to deal with XYZ. Just some examples for people.
God damn it, Sean.
I told you when the question. I told you your answers was going.
All right, so yeah, man, definitely. Like, for me, my experiences, man, you can kind of take that and apply it to society because I guarantee that some child is going through something similar now. You know what I mean? Like, for me, man, I grew up in Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in the Forest Park area. I moved out, from Forest Park to Montgomery County, I think in '92. You know what I mean? But while in Baltimore, I always felt like I was home. I always had family. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
But in Baltimore, I also had a few traumatic events. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when I was a kid, man, I probably was around 8. I'm gonna say 8 at least, bro. And I got molested by my neighbor, by a gay neighbor. He was actually a teenager. The guy, he had got me. I used to always help him and his mom take their groceries in the house. Well, I used to help his mom take the groceries in the house. And one day I was outside playing with a group of my friends, and he asked me could I help take groceries in the house with him and his mom. I got in the
Mhm.
house, no mom. You know what I mean? And it took me years to get to the point where probably took about another 2 years before, or a year and a half. I can't remember exactly, but when it hit me, man, I was just like, what in the fuck did Joe see in me to try some shit like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And, up until that point, man, that had a huge impact on everything in my life because I then got to the point where, like my dad was never like in my life all the time, every day, or he would come in town. I would talk to him on the phone probably once or twice a month or something like that, man. But it didn't bother me
Right.
until I realized what that molestation did. I realized I was molested. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
And I
when
guess how did you come to terms that that's what happened? Like how did it hit you?
I don't know, bro. Like really, it was just like I think at the time, bro, I think I came across something where I actually knew that men and women, you know, were engaged in sexual activities. You know what I mean? At the
Right.
level of my understanding at that age. And I guess, well, not I guess, the simplistic route is that wasn't no woman. So why did he do
Absolutely.
that to me? You know what I mean? So, I did know that at that time I didn't know what gay was. I had an idea, I just knew I didn't know what gay was. You
Okay.
know, I knew I seen this guy with other dudes and kissing dudes and things like that, and that he talked feminine or he was a little looser than I was with it, but I didn't think about what gay and straight
But
was back then. You know what I mean?
got you. Right, right,
And,
right, right, right.
and that trauma alone kind of within itself developed more traumas because that's when I really realized, like, damn, I can't tell my dad this shit. He not here. You know what I mean? My dad can't come fuck him
Mm-hmm.
up. And then from that point on, man, it started going to a place where I started to realize mentally like I wanted my dad there. And I realized that he wasn't as close as I would like him to be. And that's in no way to throw shade at my dad because what we're talking about is the things that we go through with African American men. And my dad is an African American man who had his own struggles that he didn't know how to get through. You know what I mean?
All right. So yeah, all right. Is there anything else that you want to say regarding that particular situation, dealing with the molestation and everything like that, man?
I mean, other than it messed me up my entire life, bro, and from multiple aspects. Um, it affected
Examples.
relationships. Um,
Like when you say messed you up, you know what I mean? Uh give yeah, give detail for the for those out there that might be, you know, battling similar things, or and those that aren't, so that they can, if they come across, they have kids or things like that are dealing with it, they could possibly understand what they're dealing with.
yeah, man, like it's just hard to talk about, but yeah, man, like realistically, like it messed with my it messed with me trying to figure out like my sexual attraction. You know what I mean? Like I've always been attracted to women, but being that happened, being a child, growing up, you kind of like, did he see something in me that make him think that I was gay, or you know what I mean? Like it
Right.
kind of a hundred different ways, and it goes even further, man, to where like even my self esteem. You know what I mean? Like people tell me that I'm a handsome guy. You know what I mean? But I've never seen it, even now. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with it now. You know what I mean? But just being real, I don't see the attraction that people see that are attracted to me. You know what I mean? And it affected like sexual relationships. I was sometimes, growing up, I will try to go have intercourse and the tools wouldn't operate properly because so many different doubts and negative thoughts were planning around in my head that you can't possibly work, right
Right.
under those
Nah,
conditions.
that's that's
You know what
that's
I mean?
big facts. And look, there's a stigma out there that it just turns on, and
It don't, bro.
not at all.
Not for me. Not for you know what I mean? Like for me to get to that point, bro, I legit have to have some type of attraction to you. I have to be more than physical. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely. But no, but so that's big things right there. You know what I'm saying? As in, like I said, there's a stigma out there. So I'm gonna be real, right? And you know me, I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing, right?
Facts.
You got to have a complete one track mind, as in something might be a little tinker tink with your brain if no matter what, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what happened to you, you could just always go.
Facts.
We looked at the video just the other day, right? And we talking about as a childhood, but especially as an adult, right? My man said, what? He said, yeah, you want to go out there, you want to deal with XYZ, yada yada. Yeah, he could probably always go. Why? Because he sit around at home all day. That's all he get to think about. He done been in prison and this, that, and third. That's all he get to think about. No, you talk about a male who do this, who got things and just uh, things to actually worry and care about all day, every day. It ain't always just go time. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And it's funny because not necessarily funny, it's interesting, shall I say. You starting to see that a little more now in TV shows and movies,
Facts.
where
That's
they
true.
talk about how, you know what I'm saying, just a male having something heavy on their mind, and it ain't even gotta be something that's effed up, but just something, a topic that's heavy on their mind. Tool ain't working.
Facts.
And it's like, yeah, because it's true.
But what
You know what I'm
happened?
saying? And then,
Let's twist it a little bit though, right? Because let's play on this for a second, right? Because
okay,
when that doesn't happen, what's the first thing a woman say?
what, I'm not pretty enough. Whatever, it's they turn it on them.
What are you? Are you gay? You know what I mean? Like,
You got that too. So it depends on the woman. Because you gotta think, look, we just read the facts that's out there, right? They 2 times as likely to be dealing with some kind of depression themselves, right?
facts.
So it depends on the woman.
It
One,
does.
what you gay? That could be a defense mechanism because of what they dealing with.
That
But
low
then
self-esteem.
because they ain't trying to pull, they trying to divert it. But then you got some that's worried about their self-esteem in a way of, you know, they really think it's them. What I'm not pretty enough, or what's going on with you don't like me and stuff like
Facts.
it
And it goes
really depends.
and it goes back to the saying hurt people because just saying that, right? And I've had that said to me before. You know what I mean? Now you know a little bit about my struggles after the molestation and why things wouldn't operate. And then when a woman says that to you and projects that to you, what kind of mindset did I put a person in like me?
You in deeper.
You're in deeper.
You in
And
deeper.
so that's where your self-esteem gets cracked down even further because now you're not even realizing that what you're going through is natural because everybody else is saying it shouldn't be that way. You should be going go mode every single time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. It wasn't every woman. There were a few women in between that kind of understood. Like, don't worry about it. You know, whatnot. They kind of understood that. But there were a lot more that were like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Get the fuck off of me. You know what I mean? Like it was just ignorant. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know we can go on for hours about that. You know what I mean? But like you said, man, a lot of that stuff it goes back to people not knowing that what mental illness actually is. It's not deranged anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's not always deranged. There are some deranged folks out there, but mental illness falls back on on your self-esteem. It falls on your confidence. It falls on whether you're happy or sad all the time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you walk into a situation and like for me, for instance, I never really like the clubs, bro, because I don't like being in tight spaces. I start having anxiety attacks. You know what I mean? So if we're in a place where we gotta slide through, excuse me, I get real hot and I naturally want to react in a way that's not natural. You know what I mean? It's that fight or flight mentality or that fight or flight reaction.
All right, so I have stop, boy.
We ain't even getting to the questions yet. God damn.
Yeah, I was saying no. I got. I'm not. We good. So no, I mean, and technically, you kind of already. Well, you already have answered the what the purpose is and things like that.
I didn't answer the purpose fully though. You know what I mean? I told you a little bit what drives me.
All
I
right,
didn't answer.
all right. So can you all right? So bet let's do it like this, right? Three separate questions. And you basically answer them, but don't answer all three, but don't group the answers together. So what is your purpose in doing this? What gave you the urge, and then also who is your target audience?
Okay. So what gave me the purpose in doing this, man, was a little bit of everything. I think realizing this the natural conversation I have with my friends, like you know, with the conversation that you and I have, conversation with a couple other, you know, my friends I have, man, it all falls along the same thing, man. Like the stuff that I go through, I wasn't the only one that went through that. You know what I mean? And when I talk about it, I find out like somebody else went through something similar, and it kind of helps me realize that my road isn't unique to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
you know, the purpose also, another purpose is, man, like I don't want anybody to feel alone going through that. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the darkest places of my life, and when I say dark, you can't imagine the type of darkness that I'm talking about.
Can't see. You don't see no light. There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Man, like the only way I can explain it where you understand it is, man, the devil plays there. You know what I mean? Like that place is that the devil lives there, and
Absolutely.
and that place you kind of looking for what's looking for you. You know what I mean? You know whether that's somebody that loves you, that's not good for you. Whether that's a drug to help you escape the pain of your reality. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing, man, is like one of the things that you know about, bro, is that you know we know somebody that was successful in suicide, you know, on a similar path that I was, you know, and he had gotten to a point where he was actually starting to make, you know, to everyone else, it was like he was making progress, but you know, it wasn't progress for him. He was still struggling, and he decided, you know, to not give it any more effort in life anymore. You know what I mean? And that was big to me, man, because I was there, bro. And I really feel like, man, I wasn't just saying, I didn't like nobody knew I was going to commit suicide except one person, and that wasn't on purpose. That was just I didn't tell her. She heard it in my voice, and she just asked me not to do it. You know what I mean? Not to leave her with that pain. And you know, at the time, bro, I had totally my mind had convinced myself that my kids were better off with insurance money than than me actually being here to show them how to live. You know what I mean? So, you know, that the last purpose of it is, man, that, you know, I don't want my kids to go through this alone if it's something they're not talking about. You know what I mean? So I want them to be able to look on there and be like, you know what, dad went through that, but dad's not crazy. Dad went through some shit that'll fuck anybody up. You know what I mean? And he got through it. You know what I mean? So if I can get through what I got through, bro, even, you know, whatever my kids are going through, they can look at me and be like, you know what? Dad got through it. Let me go ahead and push a little bit further. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So again, like what gave me the urge, man, was really honestly, man, learning that my daughter, you know, suffers from, anxiety and sometimes depression. And I don't want her to feel like what she's going through is unique to her because she's not comfortable talking about it yet. You know what I mean? And and that scares me, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to miss that because the support for mental health isn't as strong on one side as it is the other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Got you.
My target audience, man, really anybody who listens. But to give this thing direction, I guess it's adolescents and their parents. You know what I mean? Specifically talking to, Black men, helping them get more confidence that, yeah, we struggle like shit, bro. But keep pushing because that's the story. You know what I mean? Like our story isn't unique. and what works for everyone else doesn't work for you
Right,
always.
right. You got an uphill battle.
Exactly, bro.
It starts out that way.
It starts out that way, especially coming from where we come from. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Absolutely.
So, like coming from where we come from, man, like our everyday life can be a trauma if you don't have the right mindset.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, like my target audience, man, my target audience is really men, fathers, and hopefully the women can kind of listen in and kind of get an idea and take something away from it. You know what I mean? But and to help their kids. But really, I'm talking to the fellas, bro, because nobody talks to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's big. That's big. Appreciate that. Got a couple other questions. What things have inspired you, and what things have like deterred you?
I'm gonna say more things that have deterred me than inspired me, bro. Even now, like
Okay.
you know, kind of the backstory of it. You know, me doing this, bro, is truly 100% faith walk because it's in a time where my career is not really panning out how I thought it would be. You know,
Mhm.
the income is neat. You know, even though I got sick, I never really rebounded professionally from that. You know, just from some of of the way my reputation was ruined dealing with the medication that I was taking just to be able to work. You know, anybody that's familiar with psych medication, they know that is some sedative stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so it gives you an image that you're drunk or you're high on a illicit street drug, but in all actuality, you're taking medication that's prescribed to you. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, I worked in
No.
pharmacy and I taught.
You shouldn't be sleepy. You already had a nap. My
You
bad.
like I'm done with it. No, you good, bro.
Um. All right. So, all right. That's you spoke of the things that deterred you. So, but what has actually inspired, or shall I say, what has kept you? What has inspired you, and what has kept you motivated?
Man, I'm not always motivated. You know, the stuff that I talk about is hard. You know, so I guess the main thing that inspires me, man, is that you know God asked me to do something, and my perception of what He was asking me to do has already reached further than I can imagine. You know, I was just, you know, when I made these posts on Instagram and Facebook, those were to my little cousins that kind of experienced the same thing that I went through with death and losing my cousins. You know what I mean? Like, and not knowing that they were suffering in silence. You know what I mean? Just let them know, like, bro, I fucking hurt too. I miss them. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, like the only thing that inspires me, man, right now is just, you know, people, you know, reaching out to me, telling me, like, bro, like, that's some deep shit, dog. Like, your life wasn't normal, bro. Like, not at all. You know what I mean? And, you know, what you went through helped me realize that I'm not ashamed about what I went through. I had no control over that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of some of the things that inspire me, bro. I can go on about it, but you know.
I'm gonna put some of his music on. Don't
Oh,
don't don't
look,
laugh.
it's all good.
It might keep him calm.
It's all good. You already know Nugget about to come out here in a second. She trying to bust through the room door now.
My man got his own playlist. Look, you see, he chilling.
You're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's funny, bro.
Can you still hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, that I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit so he can hear it. But yeah, to keep him calm. Listen to the listeners out there. Listen, straight up rap music, you get it done. Rap and trap.
Look, everybody can like that, bro.
Bruh,
Up with some trap music.
But all right, so hold up, let me let's go back to some other questions real quick. All right. All right, and then what's the end goal and where do you see this going?
Man, for me, bro, there is no end goal because this is to me, man, I feel like this is my life work. You know what I mean? I'm approaching it from this aspect right now because I've lived it and I have the experience to tell kind of what I went through. But
Mhm.
you know, my goal is, man, is to study psychology to the point where, um, where I can get at least to the a level of a psychiatrist to understand, have a better understanding of what's going on and help, you know, help change some things as far as mental illness and mental health.
Okay.
So I guess the bigger thing to that question, bro, is just creating a conversation without argument, but minimizing biasness. And as long, hi, mama, as long as that's
There she go.
right, I told you, as long as that, come here, Dank, come here. If as long as the people around me are having the conversation, and are
Hey,
enlightened,
hi,
bro,
man. Hey, what up?
I'm cool. Let's say hi, mama. Say hi.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's funny that they're here, bro, because it allows people to see, man. Like, yeah, I have bipolar too, bro, and I still struggle on a regular with it. Not to the point where I commit suicide, but just managing my cycles and my emotions when they come around. It's not as often as it used to be, but when they come around, they still are just as intense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody else dealing with it, they see that, man. Yeah, I have 6 kids, and I'm still a father. I have my wedding ring when I'm still married. Somebody still loves me. You know what I mean? I have a supportive ass family. So I
So
guess
speaking of real quick, as far as the wedding ring go, I wanted to actually make sure that we put it out there that all of the situations we were talking about were all hypotheticals. We are both married. Nobody's
we're just saying.
Right. We're just saying that
We're just saying.
nobody's in the club looking for nothing, anything like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Saying
These hypotheticals in our train of thought when we was going through
What's
all
up,
that.
buddy? What up, little man? You getting big, bro.
Yeah. Oh, bruh. My man grew 3 inches in 1 year.
I see. Sheesh.
All right.
Man.
All right. Go back upstairs. Go back upstairs. Go back upstairs. What did I just say? Yeah. All right. What did I just tell you?
There's 2 babies.
Go upstairs. Yeah, so now we got that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, that's all. Nothing. I don't know. I ain't in no club. I ain't nah.
Yeah, right.
I'm a married man.
Right.
With a very boring life.
All right, so so no end goal, boom. Where do you see this going?
Where do I see it going, man?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like honestly, man, I don't know, bro. I know right now I'm working on a book.
Upstairs.
We're working on a book. We're working on a podcast and a YouTube series. Kind of creating conversation around life and how it contributes to mental illness. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I see this thing going and having an impact on students and school system. Helping kids get through and helping adults help kids cope. With some of the things they're going through as far as that mental health. It's broad, bro. Like I'm not going to put any limitation on where I see this thing going because, like I said, man, where I expected it to go, God already showed me the first day that it went way further, bro. This joint went to the NFL the first day.
Word, big. Look, what did I say? Big pivot moves. Big pivot moves. But as you said, big pivot moves is what's to come. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Jesus sucks, bro.
And I've seen you've mentioned God a lot. Is that where your urge actually came from? Is that what your initial push came from, the manifest?
I mean, a friend of mine, man, in December of this year, bro, he brought something to my attention, and he was like, the question I always ask God is, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, what am I supposed to get out of busting my ass for, 10 years in school, working 2 full-time jobs, working a full-time job and a part-time job at one point to end up in a psych ward. And then, hold on, wait, I'm on. I'm sorry. going from the psych ward to end up in a 30-day hospitalization program, and I just didn't understand, like, what am I supposed to do with this? I teach, you know what I mean? Like, I mentor. Like, what am I supposed to teach with this? You know what I mean? And he was like, dog, like, straight up, dog, like, that's a deep question. Have you ever stopped and looked for an answer? And when he said that, man, I just like, nah, like, right. I'm saying it out of anger. And, it got to a point when I started meditating and paying attention, like, God just kept telling me, like, it's your fears I need you to work on. I need you to do. You're doing everything right, but I need you to address your fears. And I'm just like, what? And what I mean by that, my fears, man, the things that I'm ashamed of, and the things I'm embarrassed of, and a lot of the things that I don't like to talk about that kind of put me in a bad mental space. I didn't know how it was going to impact my mental health. I was afraid to go there. I just kept hearing God say, trust me, trust me. You know what I mean? But up until that point, bro, like, I'm a very spiritual dude, right? So, but going through all that, man, it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? I had to, like, my faith helped, but it wasn't always enough to get me through. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get angry with God, and you like, man, you can't be life, dog.
Truth. Look, it is sometimes might be an understatement sometimes because
facts.
You might go through for a bit and you might spend a good amount of that time just like real.
Right. It's right.
Like you did
right, bro.
Text you? I've been trying. I thought I've been doing good.
Somebody help me.
What's up? You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, I understand. Woo. And look, you can't lie about it. He know.
Right.
You can't lie about it.
You can't lie about it, bro.
You
definitely can't.
One thing you got to do is be real with God.
I'm not about Devin. Can you please? I asked you something very specific minutes ago, and can you go in your room, please? I gave you the opportunity, and you're out here doing that. Go back in your room, please. I almost finished. Yeah, no, that's facts, bro.
All right. We can about to wrap it up, man. The last thing I got is, are you looking to work with anybody? And if so, who would be, I guess, like some prime people that you might want to work with, or just got an idea of anything like that?
Honestly, bro, like, I don't have anybody in mind that I want to work with. I think I want to work with whoever wants to work with me in this area. And, specifically, like, prime people that I'm talking about are people that are in the field of psychology with the same mission with the same mission as me, impacting mental health in the Black community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got you. Okay. Well, that's good enough. I think. That's big right there. Just basically, putting the word out there. Basically, hey, look, I'm open if you open. If you want to talk about this, you want to rap, we can get it done. That's it right there. You know what I mean? Ain't no target. The target is if you want to do this. That's it.
Bro, it's not about me, man. It's about I guess my return on investment of this is, man, the impact of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not looking for a monetary return. I'm not looking to talk to an A-list celebrity. I'm more looking for one of my mentees or one of the kids that crossed the kids that I coach, or somebody that crossed my path, like, yo, Coach Dev, or Dev, bro, like, I got through it, bro. I want to cry them tears of joy with them. You know what I mean? That's my return on investment, bro.
Right.
So there's nothing like like I said, this is a pure God walk, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I've never been in this place before in my life.
Okay. Quick. Did you want to shed some light on, because you this your first time in the interview mentioning being a coach, having mentees and things like that. Did you wanna shed any light on that at all?
I mean, yeah, I think it's important that each one teach one. You know what I mean? So I try to put myself in a position where, I don't want to be overbearing, but if somebody wants to talk to me about something, I can be effective, and I can be an effective adult in their life to where I can give them something they can use in life. And football to me, bro, is teaches life. You know what I mean? Every feeling, every adversity you face in football you're gonna get those same feelings in your life growing up as a man. You know what I mean? You want me, bro?
The kids, bro.
I got you. I got you.
The kids. Yeah, look, Roblox, right? Can you, can, can, can you help me with Roblox? Can I do my interview?
Right.
But
I did the same thing. These out here smacking glasses with a spray can in the glass, making beats with scissors.
So check it, right? Give it here. So you said all right, so quick question though.
What's up?
Okay, chill out. You said you was where do you want to, where you want to state where you coach at and what you coach and things like that?
Oh yeah, man, definitely. Like, I coach in Montgomery County. I coach for the Montgomery Village Chiefs. I mean, it's all we're gonna do what we gotta do, baby. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by a bunch of great coaches, man. A bunch of great guys with a similar mission, man. Just want the best for these boys, man. Give them the best opportunity. Just want to show them what it takes, to kind of live, bro.
Got you. Bet. And then what about the mentees and everything like that? Do you what's that looking like? Do you mentor somewhere, or that's something you putting together?
Yeah, that's something that you and I are putting together as we speak.
Oh, word!
Don't try to duck out of this one, Brian. Try to put it on me because you involved in that part too. So yeah, like definitely we putting together, some things to mentor.
Yeah, man. Look.
Putting together a nice little mentoring program, man. That I hopefully have a huge impact on a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Is he dabbing over there, or he? Oh no, he's playing with his head.
He's just doing whatever he can because the music popping.
You go on the let me ask you a question, bro. Like, what'd you get out of all that? You know what I mean? Like, where's your stance on men and mental health and even with the kids?
I'm poked in the eye. That's where I'm at.
I see.
So what I get out of all that is here, go sis.
Okay, come on to Maya. So
I got like 2% on my phone.
So what I get out of everything, man, is really that one, as I said before, right? If it's 1 in 4, that's what's being reported, I really believe it's greater. And
I agree.
And I even, especially for the men, right? Because it's the stigma that you got to be tough. You can't. We not allowed to talk about our feelings.
Right.
So yeah, we're not allowed to talk about our feelings. We not allowed to have those things that might screw your life up coming up. We're not allowed to reflect on that and have to go through that as an adult. We expected to tough it out and it not be a part of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So one, I thank you and I commend you for coming out and speaking on that and putting the world down with what we endure or what some of us endure. You know what I mean? Because I can't speak to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's very important to speak to that and to it's very important it's very important for us to try to think of the best words for it is it's important for us to highlight male mental state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
You said male mental stigma, what you say?
the male's mental state, as
Oh,
in,
got
you can't just sweep everything under the rug. You got
right.
you got homeboy that just, you know what I'm saying, took out his ex-wife and his current girlfriend. You got Chris Benoit. Let's not even keep it straight to the brothers. You got Chris Benoit, you know what I'm saying, who had a mental breakdown, killed himself and his entire family. And then
Facts.
they've now scrubbed the entire WWE of his existence.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
When I get it, as a company, you like, I don't want to be associated with that. But there's a very good chance that because of the company that it is, it came from your company. And so just the things that, especially CTE, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
CTE ain't linked only to football. You don't
Facts.
only get it because you running, you know, getting concussions for football and stuff like that. Nah, my man was beating himself up and, you know, falling through tables, landing on his head and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah.
And then wrestlers don't get they don't get paid very well. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you know, that's things like that. Robin Williams, highly successful, great career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dealt with depression all that whole entire time and nobody knew. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So the same thing, you know, old boy that killed the old man on Facebook Live. You gonna sit
Yeah.
there? That's mental. That's
Yeah,
mental.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then me and you've talked about it a lot, and he's been trying to dodge it, as in,
Oh, out. Home. My bad, bro.
you good. Mr. AB Antonio Brown, he been trying to dodge the fact, my mental good. I'm great. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. Nah, you're not about to sit here and tell me you act that way. And he
Yeah.
might sit there and be like, oh, what you mean that way? Nah, bro. The way you acting, it ain't normal. It ain't normal for people to be just lashing out at
Lashing out at something.
the most, you know, and I ain't gonna say super minimal, but you know what I'm saying, that there's a way to do things. But I gotta take food out the stove. You on 1-2%.
I'm on
We
2%
gonna
now.
oh, you too. Well, look, we gonna wrap it here. We gonna put a pin in it, man. And you might see us again, man. We actually we should probably get together, man. And whether we want to talk about, you know, deep stuff like this, man, or if you want to, you know, get together and just talk about everyday living, man, over, you know, live stream and stuff like that, man. I think we could definitely do that, man. Come up with a concept, a name, and stuff like that, man. And you know that this was cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's put this
bro.
out, see how the people feel about this, man, and then, you know what I mean?
Bro,
Get
you know what's
together and
crazy
then
about
just
that?